2018 was a year that completely overachieved on my expectations. It was the year of growth for me, and maybe you too. It was a year that seemed to go by so slowly, moment by moment, but now that I look back on it, truly went by in a flash. And I kind of want to talk about a few of the things that I experienced in 2018 for growth, as well as just some of my highlights and favorite memories and moments. Because honestly, 2018 was my favorite year in a really long time. There have been some tough years that have passed, but you know what? 2018, this one's for you. Okay, so let's start off month by month. January was really exciting because January was the first time in my life that I actually got to travel for a job. And I traveled down to the Florida Keys where I had never been before. It was stunning, but had recently been impacted very, very harshly by Hurricane Irma, which was one of the hurricanes that happened the summer before. So being able to see that, being able to experience the Florida Keys and just show people here in Canada via the segments that we filmed that it was back in business and people had rallied around, and to go down and see the sunset celebration was absolutely incredible, and I will always be thankful. January was also the moment that I realized that YouTube is a direction that I would like to go. I think I've always just tried to go for Instagram or blogging, forgetting the fact that editing and videos is what I am truly passionate about and what I truly love. So January, you were so good, and getting to also be on the Toronto Maple Leafs Blue Line podcast was pretty wicked, and then starting to see our Toronto Marlies really light it up in January was pretty incredible too. February was another month of travel, but this time in a little different way. I got to travel to Dubai with one of my very best friends for so long, Monica, and our vlogs still make me crave those moments again. We would wake up every single day and we would just be like, that was the best day, let's go have another incredible day. Finding the right people to keep in your life so closely, the people that you can travel with, create memories with, and you know that they're just gonna last forever, is so important. 2018 taught me that there are people that sometimes come into your life and leave your life, and that's okay. And there are some people that we hold on to forever, but the fact of the matter is, not every single person in your life is going to be there for the long haul. So finding the right ones and making memories with them, making it important that you spend time with them is really something special. Monica is one of those friends where I don't have to see her for a long time, and as soon as we pick back up, it's like bam, we are right back where we were when we had seen each other the day before. You all have friends like that, right? But sometimes we put our energy into friends that aren't like that. So the moment that I realized that it's so important to actually put that energy into the people that make life easy and life fun and life memorable is really important. And February taught me that. We went out of our comfort zone. We went to an area of the world we had never been, and we got to spend that time with people that I had actually grown up with. And those vlogs as well are posted down below. March is always an interesting month because March is my birthday month. So I feel like there's always so much energy around March. I am an Aries, which if some of you know me, you're like, yep, that makes sense, but I'm right on the border of Aries and Pisces. So I kind of want to do a zodiac talk one day, but Aries and Pisces makes a lot of sense for me. My dad's birthday is also in March. It's March 8th. But if you know the calendar dates, you know that's actually also International Women's Day. So thanks, Dad, for sharing those days with us. This March, I got the opportunity to talk on a panel. So for the first time, I wasn't actually hosting a panel. I was actually on it to express some knowledge and to express some memories within the field that I'm working in. It was an International Women's Day panel, and having that opportunity to talk was a really big step for me to realize that I'm going in the right direction. So March already kicked off pretty great. I had a phenomenal birthday. I had so many friends come out, and it was really, really amazing. But things started to change for me. I was now single in March, and riding those emotions was really tough, and I knew that I needed to make a change in my life. At this time, I was still living at home, so I knew that there was change in the months to come, but I didn't exactly know what that looked like just yet. I really wanted to make 27 a big one, and I think that in terms of every single year that I spend going around the sun on this beautiful planet, I always think it's the people and the connections that we make that are really gonna make this year, these moments, and this life something special. In March, I made some new friends with one of my very good friends, Francis. He takes a lot of my photos, and we ran around and took so many photos this summer. And then as well, another good friend, Rachel, who you would recognize if you watched our couples shoot with me and Scott and Rachel, and I will link that up right above. April was another incredible month for travel because I actually got to go with my dad to Greece. Now, these travel layovers with my dad, if you haven't tuned into my channel before, basically my dad's a pilot, and sometimes when he has a longer layover, I'm free and there are seats available, I can go with him. So we ended up going to Athens, Greece together on a 48-hour layover. And what happens basically is I get on the flight, he's flying the plane. And then we fly all night and we get to our destination. We go to the hotel, have a nap, and then the rest of the day is basically ours for the taking. And then we have another full 24 hours. So what we did is we did the classic Plaka walk. We looked at the ruins just from afar because we had done this trip before. We went to some of our favorite restaurants in Athens. And then the next day we tried to do something that we had never done before. And he's been to these layovers a bunch, these locations before, but we wanted to try and do something that neither of us had done, just to create that new memory together. So we ended up going down to the ferry port, and we hopped on a ferry, went over to one of the islands called Angia, and we ended up renting a moped and mopeding around the entire island, and it was incredible. It was one of those moments where you were like, I have no choice but to be present in this moment and just really create these memories. To have that opportunity to create those memories with my dad is really something special for me because I love my dad so much, and we just have so much fun. We just end up laughing the whole time. And those are truly moments where all I'm thinking is, I can't wait for the memories that we are making right now, and I can't wait to edit this video. He's super supportive in terms of this channel. My mom is as well, so it's really great to be able to create those videos and those memories to look back on. April was also an interesting month in terms of my other side of career. So you already know I work at the Weather Network, that Florida Keys trip that I did in January, but also the Toronto Maple Leafs were doing pretty well, and I am an in-game host for MLSE for the Toronto Marlies, and our Toronto Marlies did incredibly well as well, but I have to get to that memory more in June. I got the chance to host a Toronto Maple Leafs tailgate in Maple Leaf Square, and it was one of those moments where it was kind of like, how did I get here? How did I get this opportunity, and how do I continue to climb this ladder? Being able to be in front of all of those fans, hyping everyone up before the game, was a really cool opportunity to have, because when it comes to sports, you just feel like you're a part of this bigger community. And I am so thankful for the opportunity to work with Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment. May was probably one of the biggest months in terms of growth this year, but I want to touch on a couple of funny moments too. One of my best friends that I work with at the Weather Network, or worked with at the Weather Network, her name is Shannon, and this day we actually ended up coming to work wearing the exact same outfit. There are so many funny moments like that just happen at work because we work with such amazing, hilarious, light-hearted people that we just had to film so many snaps about it. I absolutely adore Shannon, and she's getting married in 2019. So that is going to be a new memory to look forward to. She got engaged in 2018, and I can't wait to see her walk down the aisle. Another really fun memory in May was starting some pretty big collaborations. I started working with Tara, and it was one of the first times that Scott and I had actually done a collab together, but at this time we were just friends. So knowing that we can work together in that kind of scenario and just have so much fun and keep it light, it was one of those building blocks that I think led to our relationship as we see it right now. And of course, May was the time that I moved into my very first apartment by myself, for myself. It was huge. I was supposed to move in May 1st. I ended up moving in May 22nd. Kind of just proved that everything in life takes a little bit of patience. This place just wasn't ready yet. But building this spot, painting my door pink, kind of taking back my life and proving to myself that independence is incredible was huge. May, my heart is with you. If you were an actual person in form, I would give May the biggest hug ever, because I gotta say, there are moments in life where it just takes making the decision. Sometimes you just have to decide to change your life. It's weird because we grow up and our parents tell us what to do, our coaches tell us how far to run, our teachers tell us what grades to try to strive towards. But at the end of the day, once you become an adult, you are the one who's making the decisions, and you kind of have to buck up and realize that it's your time to decide where your life is going, where you want to travel, what you want to do, where you want to live, and who you are. May, I love you. June was another month of growth. I was finally settling into my place. I was collecting things. I was just bleeding money because I wanted to buy all of the cozy things. I'm totally settled now, but it was just such an exciting time. I actually also knew that I wanted to get back into my creative zone. I was building back as a person again, trying to find that wholeness, and I decided to embrace my ever curiosity for calligraphy. So I started learning calligraphy in June. I started learning because one of my very best friends, Rebecca Babcock, is getting married in 2019. I wanted to do something to basically help her with the wedding plan. So I knew that I loved calligraphy, she loved calligraphy, so the point in learning it is basically to help her make her things for her wedding. But I also love the fact that you can find meditation in your life, whether that be running, painting your nails, just focusing and being present in the shower. For me, it's calligraphy because it takes time, it takes patience, and it also takes practice. I have fallen off the bandwagon a little bit. So in 2019, my goal is to practice calligraphy at least once a week, and I'm going to be doing another video on my goals, my resolutions, and where I see 2019 going. But starting calligraphy in June was phenomenal, and I absolutely loved it. June was also another big transition month because finds a new place, has a different relationship status, chops her hair. I cut my hair, and I had never really felt more like myself. I felt so free in that moment when I chopped my hair. And June was also so big because the Toronto Marlies won the Calder Cup, and to still be playing hockey in June is insane. So they had never done that before, and to be a part of the club during that period was really fun. I also started releasing some of my writing, and it gives me the opportunity to really check in and see where I'm at, and also to refer back, because a couple of the writings that I recently released, they were ones that I wrote in June, and to actually feel safe in releasing them now is pretty cool. But again, June, a super big transition month. July was just a fun summer month. I started to embrace the city that I lived in. I started doing the community share bikes, going down by the bay, taking myself on dates. I started embracing photography again with one of my good friends, as I mentioned, Francis, and we just took so many shots, and we ran around the city with a laundry basket full of clothes, and the blogs started rolling once again. June was a great content month for photos. Not as much for video, but I feel like I was still building my confidence and still getting back to feeling like me again. And I was working a ton in the summer at the Weather Network because everyone was taking vacation, so it was a pretty good steady flow of working. August saw more friendships grow. I got to go to one of my good friends now, Nisade, her 30th birthday party, and meet a bunch of people I'd never met before, continuously pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I love meeting new people, but I had gotten kind of out of that zone for a while. So this was one of those moments where I was like, you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone because that's where all the growth happens. And if 2018 is a year about growth, that is what is going to be the big thing. I also got to create a new tradition with my best friend Rebecca, and we went to dinner en blanc in Toronto, and we dressed up in white, and we had this hilariously tiny table. It was so small in comparison to everyone else, but now we know the rules and kind of how to manage dinner en blanc, so that was so much fun, and Rebecca and I are going to do that every single year. It was just so cute. I also welcomed home my Endy, and Endy has been one of the biggest collaborations that I've ever done. I'm so thankful to the company because they are just so amazing to work with. I genuinely love my Endy mattress, and then I got to start creating the persona of my Endy boyfriend, so that was pretty fun. Speaking of boyfriends, not yet were Scott and I seeing each other at all in August, but we had started creating content that was just kind of showing our personalities, so we were still just friends at this point. And we were also still working together, but we created our first skit that had more of a viral effect on my account because it was the first time we had really released something like this. But I pretended that I heard a song on the radio, and my character in it was like, "Oh my God, did you just propose to me?" And his character was like, "No, what are you talking about?" And it was just so fun because you need to find those people in life where you pitch an idea to them, and if they're down for it, they're just like, "Yes, let's do it. Let's produce that content. Let's just roll with it." And he is just so absolutely incredible at taking an idea and turning it into a script. I learned so much more about Scott. Did you know he has actually written plays that have been performed? I didn't. It's insane. This guy has so many talents. September was another month that led me down the path of traveling with work. In September, I actually got to go to Mexico on a 10-day trip this time, whereas Florida Keys was just a 4-day trip. So this was 10 days and we were producing 10 segments for Sunwing. They all turned out so fun. We got to go into caves, the cenotes. We got to go diving, free diving. We got to go to a tequila museum. We got to travel around Cancun on their city tour. It was just so much fun. And then as well, meeting other people in the industry, like our director of photography, Derek. He was amazing. It was just really cool working with someone in the industry who had been a director of photography or film within an industry that I could see myself going. October was a bit heartfelt. It was a bit hard. My dog Casey actually fought cancer for the second time. He now has lost 2 toes, the poor little guy. In 2017 in October, we also had to remove one of his toes because he ended up getting toe cancer, which is actually pretty common in standard poodles, black standard poodles. But this year, circle back, he also got it in the other foot, same toe. But the little guy is so crazy and relentless, and he fought it again, and I'm just so happy. The colors were incredible this October. I think it's because the weather and how much rain we got. The leaves just lasted so long. Dundas Peak was stunning. I got to collaborate with new blog friends, and it basically just laid the foundation and laid the groundwork that in 2019, my biggest goal is to collaborate. I want to work with more people that I respect and love and show you their personalities and just work with them on their brands too, because there are so many people I respect in this field and so many people that I've connected to have a personal relationship with where we've never been face to face. So that's really interesting. So I can't wait to meet them in 2019. And October was really exciting because I fell for my best friend. It was one of those things where I just didn't know it was gonna happen. And I feel like I was like, no, like it's what it is right now. It's, this is fine. And then I just realized, why wouldn't I wanna spend my life, my days, my hours, my minutes with my best friend? Scott is one of the greatest adventures that I started in 2018, and I can't wait to see where that goes in 2019. We went to one of my favorite fall fairs and everything changed that night. November, we got to go up to the cottage together. It was the first time he had ever gone up to this new cottage with just one person. So that was really special. We got to create, we got to be quiet. And for the first time, we actually just sat down and did really regular things like just watching a movie. And it was really, really beautiful. I got to embrace new friendships in November and strengthen the friendships that I've made even within this blog world, closer to home, Hamilton bloggers, that I've really created a great kind of relationship with. And in the end of November, I hosted my very first Christmas party. It was so much fun. I got to have friends from all over the spectrum of my life, and I just knew they would all get along. And at one point, we were just all sitting in this big circle playing this game that Scott was leading, even though he had just met everyone, where it just warms my heart. He's just so wonderful. And we were just all together and laughing, and it was like we had all known each other for such a long time. And I will never forget that memory of throwing my first Christmas party here in this loft. December was really special too, because obviously December is the holiday month. I got to spend Christmas with my family, with Scott's family. We got to do a couples shoot together where I was literally sweating the whole time. My nose started bleeding. It was really nerve-wracking. But Rachel did a phenomenal job, and so did Scott. And we got these really phenomenal photos out of it, of our first year dating. And I will forever look at those photos and just remember what incredible memories and where we started in 2018. As I said, 2018 was a year of growth. It was a year of reaffirming who I am, who I want to be, the people I want to keep in my life, and the people who I'm willing to let walk out of it. Life's hard, but it shouldn't be too hard. And you should never be trapped within a relationship, whether that be a friendship, a family member, or a romantic relationship. Things that I learned about myself in 2018 is I am pretty darn resilient. I am willing to do what it takes to finish a job, whether that means staying up till 4 a.m. and just grinding it out, or I'm willing to do all of those things because I am so passionate about this. The last thing I want to say is 2018 brought me 1,000 subscribers here on this channel, and I cannot thank you enough because you have no idea how much that means to me. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see where we go in 2019. Please leave a comment, your favorite memory in 2018, and follow along. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.